Hi guys, welcome. We're going to do another super short. I was going to do a top 5 and then I was going to do a Q&A video. However, all the replays have been deleted from yet another update. I'm glad they're pushing out the updates, but it gets really annoying when I'm trying to make videos of, games that have been recorded and then they all disappear. Anyway, let's see what units we can go over today. We already gone over all the infantry. We've already gone over the basic vehicles and the new vehicle with the Tic Tac tank. So let's go ahead and finish up with the Nod vehicles and go over the stealth tank. Actually, let's do all the special vehicles. Let's go over the stealth tank, the giga cannon. We'll make this one a little bit longer, and then we'll also go over GDIs. And these are just for the war factory, not for the tech lab yet. APC and artillery unit. All right, so we're going to start with the stealth tank. Now, the stealth tank is actually very lightly armored. It can be killed quite easily. I think it has a little bit more health than, say, an attack bike, but not by much. So, I mean, a rocket squad can take this out. A tank can easily take this out if it doesn't kill it in one shot. A lot of things can take this out very easily. It's not good against infantry. It's not good against buildings. It is good against vehicles and air, which is unique and very awesome. It is comparable to the GDI tech unit, the Sandstorm. It actually does more damage than the Sandstorm in the initial hit. However, it is a little easier to kill than the Sandstorm, and after it fires, it has to reload. And its reload is long. It is abysmal reload time. This unit is not meant for holding a point. It is not meant for just standing next to something and forget about it. You sit it next to something, it doesn't kill it, it's going to die. If there's another unit there, it's going to die. Also, this unit is very good for hit and run tactics. Pulls out an air unit, go in, wipe it out. Pulls out a powerful vehicle, go in, heavily damage it, or possibly wipe it out. The light vehicles, pit bulls, attack bikes, stuff like that, this thing can kill them in one volley. Kill one unit, retreat. After it reloads, come back, kill another unit, retreat. And a lot of times it will be lightly damaged, just from going in and firing. It's supposed to cloak, but the cloak, there's so many units that can detect cloak, and it loses its cloak when it goes to fire. So the cloak's not that useful. You might be able to sneak, if he does everything that can detect stealth, he might not be able to see where you're hiding. You might be able to sneak around, surprise attack on his harvesters or something, which this is a great harvester killer. Great hit and run for harvester killing. It won't kill it again in one volley, usually, unless he's a lower level harvester and you're a higher level stealth tank. But it can definitely kill most of a harvester or finish off a slightly damaged harvester, which is great. And then get out of there. There is one major flaw that you should be aware of with this unit. If it does not fire, it has 4 shots to fire. If it fires, say, 3 shots, it has 1 shot left, its reload time starts right away. But if you fire that 1 shot, it resets the reload time, and it's got to wait all over again to fire. So if you could use that 1 shot and then get away right away, do it. Otherwise, just don't waste that shot. Don't go in thinking, I'm about to reload, fire the 1 shot, and then you got to wait the whole reload time again, and you're not shooting. So be aware of that. If you have partial ammo in this thing, wait till it's fully reloaded, unless that's enough to kill a unit and then get out of there. Finish off something with it. If you can, use the partial ammo, then get out and start your reload time. If your reload time's already halfway done or 75% done, stay away from stuff, which I know can be very difficult. But, and this thing, like I said, it's not meant to hold a point. It is meant for hit and run. It's very good at that. Yeah, as long as it's not powerful infantry you're fighting. It's an awesome unit. But because it's a hit and run unit, you do not want multiple of these. I fought some people who were good players, but they made the mistake of trying to build multiple stealth tanks and then use one to hit and run, then another to hit and run, and rotate them. And that sounds like a good strategy, but it's not. And the reason for that is you now have 2 units that you pretty much can't hold the points with. You have to run away with those units. And I can keep rebuilding my stuff. I can rebuild cheap little stuff easily, much faster than you can even kill with the reload on these guys. And your build time is way down, so I can take out your frontline units, easily go hold those points with multiple units, which you're only going to take 1 or 2 of them out, even if you do that on one point, I still have the other point with 2 units sitting on there, and I can easily rebuild 2 new units and just go retake that point. So, I mean, they need to stay alive and kill multiple units to be worth it. They need to kill at least 2 units to make their value worth it. Otherwise, no go. But their versatility and what they can fight and how good it is a supportive unit. But it's a good one. And there are a lot of units that are like that. They're supportive. You have to know what's supportive and what can actually take and hold points. Like I mentioned before, I don't care for the Tic Tac, but it's a good unit for taking and holding a point. It's not a supportive unit. It needs a supportive unit with it. Now, moving on to the next vehicle. This one is also a supportive unit. So if you don't want to run the stealth tank, you could run this in place of it. And again, you don't want multiple of these. I have seen some people run with 2 of them effectively, but that is very difficult and risque. This unit has even less health. I mean, it says here it's got more than the stealth tank, but this is a higher level unit, don't forget. So I say this unit has about the same, if not less health than the stealth tank. It's very easy to kill. This is a glass cannon, but it can shoot from 2 tiles away, which is actually deceptive because I've seen it shoot more than 2 tiles away, because what it does is it hits a target, and then that beam can actually split off and hit another target. But you have to wait 3 seconds before it can split. It has to charge up. But as long as it continuously fires, it can even change targets and be hitting, multiple people. And I mean, it essentially after 3 seconds doubles its attack capacity. It's very good against vehicles. It doesn't do anything against air. It doesn't do very much at all against infantry. So you can send in rocket squads and kill this thing. You can send a bomber and kill this thing. No problem. However, when fighting tanks, if it goes up against the tank and the tank gets up right in its face, tank's going to kill it like 1-2 shots. This doesn't stand a chance against the tank in a front-up battle. But you put a little rifleman or something in front of it, the tank's going to kill that rifleman. This thing will rape that tank in front of it. He starts trying to come at you with buggies. It will tear those buggies up. Attack bikes, it is great for that. And if he tries building non-towers or GDI little towers, it's very good at destroying them. And if you can get this thing in a really good spot near the enemy base, it does great damage against the enemy base too. So, very good for tearing up enemy bases, enemy towers, and enemy vehicles when behind something. It has to stay out of battle, though. It is too vulnerable to be in battle, and as a supportive unit, I don't suggest more than one, but people have done them effectively. Alright, and that is it for the NOD special vehicles out of the War Factory. Now, for the GDI counterparts, we have... I'm going to start with the artillery. Phone call. Would be while I'm making a video, right? Looks like it stopped. Okay. Alright, so this is the mlrs. Now, the mlrs is an artillery at its core. It is very vulnerable, just like the other things, very easily killed. I think it has a little bit more health, again, per level, compared to the, or about the same, actually, to the giga cannon. It is also good against vehicles and buildings, just like the giga cannon. It does not hit multiple targets after charging up. And the multiple targets from the giga cannon, if it hits 2 tiles away, they can hit another 1 tile from that, or maybe even 2, I don't know. But I've seen it hit, a target 3 tiles away. This thing shoots only 2 tiles away. It's not going to hit, further. However, and it actually costs 10 points less. It's a burst damage unit, so it will do is, it will fire. It has 3 missiles. It will fire all 3 of them. I've seen one of these actually take out a tank in 1 volley, and that is annoying. When it's that strong, you can't get a tank up in its face. You need to use something like a rifleman to get it to waste its volley, then have your tank move up. So get it to waste its volley, and then while it's reloading, because it's a long reload time, then get up close to it, take it out with the vehicle. I mean, even a pit bull could easily take this out if you just use something else first. It has to waste that volley. And against vehicles, it will most likely kill them. There are a few that are harder to kill. If his MLRs is a low level, your tank might survive it, especially if it's a high level. Obviously there are things with more health than, say, a Predator tank or a Scorpion tank that might be able to survive a volley. But it is a very dangerous artillery piece, so do watch out. It is easy to kill, but you need to be careful of it, just because of how effective it is. And if you're using it, again, just like any supportive unit, 1. If you try 2, you're hurting your army. You might find that he can get through your front line. If he can get through your front line, he can kill them both. And now they are useless. That's why I suggest 1 with that one. And I see a lot of people try to use 2, and then I tear them both up, and they just cost themselves the game. Now, APC. I've called the Rhino APC more times than I can count. Hey, Google, turn on living room lamp. It's getting darker in here, so this way you can see me. Anyway, I've mixed those two up so often, and that's because they are practically the same unit with their gun offensively. Defensively, however, this thing is a tank. And when I say it's a tank, it's better than a tank. It has tons of health. It is amazing. And when it dies, it spawns a rocket squad. Also amazing. What it's not good against as essentially a Rhino is vehicles. Rhinos are good against infantry, and they can fight air. This thing is good against infantry, and it can fight air. Pops out a rocket squad, now it's good against tanks and air. So if he comes at you with a tank, kills your APC, rocket squad comes out of it, kills the tank. This unit is not fast. It is not a hit-and-run unit. It is not a support unit. This is a front-line unit. This is a put me on a base and forget about me almost unit. Use me to block off a point, a choke point. This is a very good unit. For its cost, honestly, I would say in the current update, the current meta of the game, for non-professional players, and I'm going to highlight that very strongly, people that are really pro at this game, this is not true for them. But for all 90% of everybody playing, APCs are overpowered right now because they require a lot of skill and micromanagement and understanding to counter. Because they're good against everything. They can fight just about anything. I mean, yeah, like a Wolverine will tear it up, but you gotta build that from a tech center, and it's the same cost. So cost-wise, you're, barely gonna pull ahead. But there are units that can counter this thing individually. And there are powers that will counter this thing. But spamming these will work against most players out there in most leagues. Now, when you get to the Diamond League or higher, which is where I'm at, that is not the case. Because even though you're getting 2 units for the price of 1, you're still technically building those units. When this unit dies, it actually builds the rocket squad. So your build timer acts as though you just built a unit, and you can't pump something else out. Now, if you just built something, and then it dies, and it pops out, it doesn't really do anything. Your little build timer will do a little fluctuate. That's it. So depending on how and when this thing dies, it might not affect you or hurt you at all, building-wise. But if your opponent knows how you're building, can time it right, and kill this thing right before your build time is reset, it prevents you from building another unit. You're just about to build something, now you've got to wait for the timer all over again. And if you've got multiple units on the field, that can be detrimental. If every unit counts, and you have 2 of these things, and he resets your timer, resets it again, that's twice you could build something. And then he takes those out, then finally you can build. However, you're already behind. And now he's already got full control of the field before you can push back again with other units. So it's a very good unit, but there are a few units, like I said, like Wolverines, that can counter it by themselves for the same cost. There are a few more expensive units that can also do it. The Inferno will do really good against this thing. It will take off about 80% of its health if it's the same level, and it leaves the fire. And if you can finish it off, or if it was already damaged, the fire will kill the rocket squads almost instantly. If they get out of it, they're going to have, no health left. So, like I said, there are several things that can take this out. I mean, obviously, a tank is cheaper and will kill the APC. The only problem it has with is the rocket squads. You got a rifleman standing by for 70 points and 2 units. You're taking out, this. And a lot of people are like, but you're using 2 against 1. Yeah, but he's technically building the other one. So really, you're using 2 against 2. This is not 1 unit. You build it as 1 unit, but you're really building 2 units when you have this, which is its advantage. As I said, it is a very good unit in the lower leagues. It is a very good unit, period, for defending and holding a point. It's good against infantry, it's good against air, and then once it dies the first time, when the second unit pops out, it's good against tanks. But it has several weaknesses that high-level players will exploit. And if they use multiple units and they rotate their units properly, use a tank to take it down at first, use an infantry to take him down, or something that's rocket squad, anti-infantry, later. Maybe they got some disruptors in the back behind their tank. There's several ways. Just spamming these is a bad idea. But pumping out a couple of these, especially against non-professional players, will make their game much harder. I highly suggest having some of these for a front line. And throwing out 2 or 3 can't hurt. But you don't want to overdo it. Any more than that would be overdoing it. In fact, 3 is really heavy for for spamming any unit. I think 3+, that's officially a spam in this game, because you don't usually have more than 6 units on the field, including your harvesters. So if you got 1 harvester, you've maxed out your army. And I mean, you can build more. I've seen people building 18 units or more on the map at one time. There are ways you can have more than 6. You have to wait for that long build timer. And if you're in a hectic battle at professional leagues or higher, you are not going to have more than 6 unless you practically won. You may have 6 quite easily, but not more than that. And this, like I said, if you got a harvester or 2, that's only going to leave you like 4 or 5 units that you're going to have on the field at a time. So if you had 3, that would be most of your army. 2 works for a lot of units. Some supportive units not. So this unit, frontline unit, you could do 2 or 3. When fighting professionals, though, do not expect it to be as overpowered. They will counter it for the same, if not cheaper cost, or they'll counter it for a little bit more, but they'll be able to continue countering them. So they will beat these. Don't think this is an end-all, overpowered unit because it seems that way. And if you're having problems fighting them, remember, you're fighting multiple units. You have to treat it like that and use multiple units. And the best time to kill it, if you have one of these at low health and you have a choice between killing it or damaging another one, pay attention to when he popped out a unit last and how many units he has. If he just built a unit, don't finish off that APC. Go weaken the other one first. Then come in after a few seconds and finish it off. So instead of his timer fluctuating, it comes all the way up and then all the way back down. And then maybe you go over, you kill that other unit, down again. And you've prevented him from building 2 other units. That's huge. Not only can you take these out that way, even though it might take you multiple units, but if you just prevented him from building 2, yes, he's got the money. Yes, he can pump out expensive stuff now. But he doesn't have other boots on the ground already fighting you. And if he already had the money, or if he doesn't have anything expensive to build, you could really screw him over. And in fact, a lot of my decks, you will see where I run this. I actually run a mammoth with it. So if they do screw me over, if the good players do that, and I end up with a bunch of money, I have an expensive 200 cost unit I can pump out. I will turn that against them. But, yeah, this unit, like I said, it's pretty much just like the Rhino. I would even push that you almost don't have to run the Rhino and this unit. If you run the Rhino, or if you don't run the Rhino, and you're running this in place of it, because of its higher cost, yes, that does leave you a little vulnerable to infantry early on. So, I take that back. You could run the Rhino and this, but just remember, they're practically the same unit. One's just better and more cost. But the only reason you want the Rhino is to get it a little bit quicker. just something to keep in mind. Anyway, that should cover the basic War Factory stuff of this strategy super short, talking about your basic units and how to use them and counter them. Next time, we will move on to Air and then the Tech Center. Ciao.